this point, with all the research, we know that caffeine is definitely not bad for us, probably actually great for us, I would even argue, myself. And that's in a lot of different regards, not just for metabolism, not just for keeping you awake, focus, and attention, but reducing your risk for not only all-cause mortality, but cognitive decline, memory impairment, and Alzheimer's disease. And actually, higher caffeine intake is associated with a lower risk of Alzheimer's disease. So let's talk about a recent trial that showed just that, which is super, super fascinating, and I'm excited to tell you about. So, thanks guys for tuning in. So there was a team in France that analyzed data from a prospective study involving 263 adults over 70 years of age. And they wanted to see the association between the amount of daily caffeine intake and the rates of Alzheimer's disease. Now, before we even get into what the results were, know that there have been plenty of studies in the past that have shown higher caffeine intake lowers the risk of Alzheimer's, but we didn't exactly know why, according to these observational studies and meta-analyses that had been done previously. What is the mechanism here? Exactly how is it lowering these people's risk? And now utilizing MRI and analysis of cerebrospinal fluid, also known as CSF, which is the fluid that surrounds your brain and spinal cord, right? They were able to find out exactly how. So out of these 263 people that were age 70 and older, they found that those with a lower daily caffeine intake, that was 200 milligrams or lower, were at a 2.5 times increased risk of not only developing Alzheimer's disease, but also memory impairment and cognitive decline in general. Wow. So caffeine is great for your brain, it seems. And in the long run, not just in the short term. Right? So how did they see this? They want to, or I should say, exactly how is caffeine doing this? What's the association? When they examined one of the cerebrospinal fluid, or a few of the CSF samples, they found that there was a reduced or worse ratio of AB42 to AB40. It's amyloid beta 42 to amyloid beta 40, and these amyloid beta proteins, they build up in the brain in people with Alzheimer's and they plaque together. And that reduced ratio that they found in people that had lower intake, daily intake of caffeine on average, 200 milligrams or less, they had more clumping of these plaques. And we know these plaques clump up big time in Alzheimer's disease and impair cognitive function and increase somebody's risk for all-cause mortality, for early death, right? And so very, very fascinating. More caffeine actually reduces the clumping of beta-amyloid plaques in your brain and hence lowers your risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. Now, we've talked about caffeine for metabolism and for energy and for focus. But remember, it's also great for gut health. One of the things that we talk about with gut health is the fact that caffeine is rich in polyphenols, antioxidants that assist the reactions that the gut bacteria go through to break down fiber and produce these things called short-chain fatty acids that control your mood, appetite, rates of fat storage, metabolism, immune function, so many important things in the body. And so caffeine, and coffee in particular, actually contributes to increased microbial diversity or diversity of the species of bacteria in your gut and a more robust gut microbiome. So caffeine's just great for you. If you're somebody that thought caffeine is bad for you and you're trying to quit coffee, maybe think again. It is not bad. It's actually very good. Now, if somebody has heart disease, right, if you have really high blood pressure, maybe you shouldn't have that much caffeine, right? And what does the FDA say? Well, they say less than 400 milligrams. 400 milligrams or less is safe for the average adult, right? But you could reach higher points than that. You look at 4 cups of coffee or more in a day being associated with beneficial health outcomes in people and a reduced risk for all-cause mortality or all-cause death or anything that can kill you, right? And the average cup of coffee is anywhere from, probably about 100 milligrams. And it differs, varies widely. If you had a double espresso and, all this stuff, it could be a lot more than that. And so it's not your enemy. Don't put a bunch of added sugar into it. Milk really isn't your enemy unless you're fasting. Then you want to have it black, right? Because you can't have anything with calories. But, because that would break your fast. Caffeine is really great. Very interesting. And it's in Super You. Don't forget that. Who do we got out here? X-Ghost, what's up? Ma, hello, I love you. Pepe, Roger, Robbie, thank you, Ma. You're the best. Tommy Reed. It's Sabia, baby, up in the hizzle dizzle for shizzle. What's up, girly girl? Always some sort of tone. I'm going to get a new tone. Practice something. S, what's up, baby? I saw you today. Good to see you, pretty girl. We'll be in touch. Ezekiel, JS, Fred, D60, and Corky Max. As for now. So we got for you, folks. We'll see you tomorrow, baby. Not sure where, not sure when, but we'll see you then. Not much, X-Ghost, Prodigy. I appreciate the love. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have an amazing night. Thanks so much. Happy when wellness. Don't forget to have your coffee in the morning. Or super you.